Arthur Grimsby knew meat. He knew its grain, its texture, its scent. His butcher shop, Grimsby's Fine Meats, was his kingdom. A small, old-fashioned place. Bells chimed when customers entered. Sawdust covered the floor. He was a man of routine, a man of sharp knives. He prided himself on his cuts, perfect every time. This was his life, his only life. His days were a relentless cycle, a brutal waltz of opening and closing. He was the first to arrive, long before the sun thought of rising. The chill of the shop greeted him. He'd unlock the heavy front door, then he'd prepare the displays, arranging chops, hanging sausages. The work was physically demanding. At night, he was the last to leave, cleaning, locking up. The darkness his only companion. The shop had a smell, iron and cold, a metallic tang in the air. It clung to his clothes, it lived in his nostrils. Even at home he smelled the shop. Shadows danced in the corners, especially in the early morning or late at night when he was alone, completely alone. The hum of the freezers was a constant low moan, a soundtrack to his solitude. He used to love the rhythm, the predictable nature of it all, the clack of his cleaver, the scrape of the bone saw, the murmur of customer requests. It was a symphony of his trade. He felt a connection to the animals, to the process. From farm to table, he was the crucial link. But the endless repetition, the clopening, the constant grinding pressure, it began to wear him down, slowly, silently. The stress was a slow poison. It seeped into his bones. His sleep became shallow, troubled by dreams of endless counters, of meat that never spoiled, of doors that wouldn't lock. He'd wake, heart pounding, the alarm clock mocking him. Another day, the same day, his eyes were always red, rimmed with exhaustion. A dull ache settled in his back. His hands began to tremble just slightly. His mind started to fray. The solitude of the early mornings warped. He'd talk to the carcasses, hanging silent in the cold room. He'd share his worries with them. Their blank eyes seemed to understand, or perhaps they judged. The days blurred into one long stretch. Monday, Thursday, Sunday, it made no difference. The bell above the door was a constant interruption, a jarring sound in his increasingly fragile world. The shop itself felt different now. Or maybe he was different. The tools on the wall seemed to watch him. The glint of the cleavers, the sharp points of the boning knives, he imagined they whispered secrets of the flesh. The meat, too, seemed more alive, pulsating slightly under his touch. Or was it just his tired eyes playing tricks? The chill of the cold room felt deeper, more invasive. Customers started to notice a slight change in his demeanor. His usually jovial patter became forced. His smile didn't reach his eyes. He'd stare blankly for a moment before responding to a simple question. "A pound of mince, Arthur?" He'd nod, his movements jerky, less precise. The once master butcher, now a shadow, a ghost in his own shop. The cracks were showing, deep and spreading. It was a Tuesday, or maybe a Wednesday. The days had lost all meaning. The shop was busy, too busy. Voices clamored, demands echoed. "Leaner than that! Can you debone this?" Each request a hammer blow to his fractured mind. A woman complained about the price of lamb, her voice shrill, piercing. Something inside Arthur snapped, a fine, taut wire. Gone. He walked to the front door, calmly, deliberately. His apron, stained with the day's work, swayed gently. He ignored the customers, their chatter, their impatient tapping of feet. He reached the old brass lock, his hand steady now, deceptively steady. There was no thought, no plan, just an impulse. A dark, sudden urge to make it all stop. The noise, the demands, the endless cycle. The click of the lock echoed, loud in the sudden silence. Customers paused, mid-sentence, mid-gesture. They looked at him, confusion in their eyes. Arthur turned, a strange, serene smile on his face. It was a smile they had never seen, not the professional smile of a butcher. This was something else, something unsettling, something broken. His eyes were wide, bright, unblinking. "The shop is now closed," he announced. His voice was soft, yet it carried permanently. He spread his arms wide as if to embrace them, or the moment, the finality of it. "You're all staying for a very special cut." A low chuckle escaped his lips, not a sound of humor, but of something else, something that had finally broken free. The madness was here, and it was smiling. Panic erupted, a wave of disbelief, then pure terror. Shouts filled the small shop. People rushed the door, pounding on the heavy wood, rattling the handle. It was no use. Arthur had locked it well. He always did. The windows were barred, as many old shops were. They were trapped with him, trapped with the smell of raw meat and rising fear. Arthur watched them, his head tilted. That serene, chilling smile still on his lips. He hummed a little tune, a forgotten melody from his childhood. He picked up his favorite cleaver. Not to threaten, not yet. He just held it, comforting, familiar. Its weight in his hand felt right, like an extension of his own arm. He admired its polished surface, the way it caught the dim light. The customers huddled together, their faces pale, their eyes wide with horror. The cold of the shop seeped into them. Or perhaps it was the coldness in Arthur's gaze, the sight of hanging carcasses, the glistening slabs of meat on the counter. It all took on a sinister new meaning. This wasn't a shop anymore. It was a cage, an abattoir, and the butcher. He was no longer their friendly purveyor of fine meats. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. Someone outside must have heard or seen. The door was eventually forced open. Light flooded in, revealing the scene, the terrified faces, the splatters of red on the white tiles. Not all from the animals. Arthur offered no resistance. His eyes were empty, his smile gone, replaced by a blank stare. They led him away. The shop remained, silent, stained, a monument to a mind finally cleaved in two.